Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we're going to be testing a full face of affordable makeup. I am so incredibly happy with the way this look has turned out. There were a few dud products that I wasn't exactly happy with. However, for the most part, the products worked really well, and I'll definitely be using a whole lot more of them. So if you would like to see how I created this full face of affordable makeup, then please keep watching. Someone needs a haircut. Look at this. I have not cut my hair since May 2021. It is now the 2nd of October 2021. So do the math, look at the regrowth, let's just ignore it, okay? As I probably mentioned in the intro, this is practically a full face of new products for me. A lot of these products, pretty sure aside from the brow products, are absolutely brand new. I did a big haul at Priceline. They had a sale a few weeks back, and it did take a few weeks for the products to arrive, to be honest. I think it took about 3 weeks. So first things first, I have done my skin prep already this morning. They were my usual products. I wasn't about to start messing around with different skincare products. So that's all done. All the products are set in and feel really nice and ready for makeup. The first product we're going to go in with is some primer. So this is from NYX. It's the Marshmallow Primer. This actually went quite viral a couple of months back, so I'm literally peeling off the stickers as we speak, and it says use alone or with foundation. Let's do this. I might just put it onto my fingers here. I can't smell anything, but it is quite thick, as you can see, so I guess that's where the name Marshmallow Primer came from. Just gonna put a little bit all over my face just to see how my skin feels after it's... Okay, now I can smell something. It's quite nice, actually. Feeling really nice. Feels nice and moisturizing. It doesn't feel too thick. Will it do anything for makeup though? I don't know. Okay, so my skin does feel tacky, and that is a good thing. Look, I mean, it's a first impression anyway. We really don't know how much it's really going to help, so we'll just leave it at that. So moving on to foundation, we are using the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Foundation. This is in the shade 3N, Beige Cream. I think it looks a bit darker than me, but we are gonna make it work because we don't have anything else anyway. Okay, give me a few hours and I'll be right back. Okay, I've just come back and wet my beauty sponge so we can use in order to apply the foundation. So I've got my metal plate here, and I'm just going to pump some of this out into my plate. That might work for me. Dipping in with my beauty sponge. This one is from Model Rock, and applying onto my face. Definitely a little bit darker than my skin tone, but once it's all blended, I'm sure we can make this work. When I was younger, I used to use a lot of pharmacy, drugstore products, and a few of them gave me a reaction. And after that, I just was not game to use these products in my routine, nor to use these products in my actual makeup artist kit. So nothing in my makeup artist kit aside from a couple of eyeshadow palettes and mascara is drugstore. Just because for my own sake, I knew that, you know, I was sensitive to it, so I didn't want anything to happen to any of my clients. This has, in the process of chatting away, blended really nicely. I like the finish of it. You know, the true test is going to be how this really wears during the day. I really do like it though. Okay, first impressions is that I love the dewiness on my skin. Please work well for me. Please don't go into my fine lines. Okay, this next product I'm a little bit nervous about. I tried this years ago. It's the Maybelline Age Rewind Eraser Concealer. This is in the shade Light 120. I used this years ago, and I'm convinced it actually, I'm just gonna wind it up. It's got like a sponge tip on the end. I'm convinced this gave me little pimples underneath my eyes. And why am I trying it again? I don't even know, to be honest with you. Is this gonna work? Oh, something's coming out. Please don't give me a reaction. Okay, shade match wise, we are good. Because it's a lighter shade, I might just use it to brighten up the center parts of my face. It feels nice and creamy going on. It has a smell to it and I don't know what it is. Is it a chemical smell? I don't know, it's just something. If you've been watching makeup tutorials for as long as I have, this used to be a cult favorite product with a lot of beauty YouTubers. Okay, it's blended in really well. I'd say the coverage is quite light. I don't know about the way it's sitting underneath my eye and whether I like it or not. It certainly doesn't sit nice in the way that my Anastasia Beverly Hills Magic Touch Concealer sits. And that makes me worry, but let's just see how this goes. I'm just gonna try and blend a little bit with my sponge as well, just to see if that's sort of, I feel like it's just sitting on top of my skin, if that makes sense. I don't feel like it's blending in. Don't know. I think a lot of you know how much I love my cream products. So we're going to do a little bit of cream contouring, and the product that we're going to use is from NYX. It's the Can't Stop Won't Stop Concealer. This is in the shade Mahogany. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of it onto the back of my metal plate. Looks a bit orange, doesn't it? I think it's a bit too dark, but I'm just going to grab my PC21 brush, which is my bronzing brush. And I'm just going to tap away a lot of excess, even on the back of my hand. That's really orange. I'm a bit terrified to use this. I'm just gonna try and get off as much product as I possibly can and go really, really light. So help me God. This is such a cult favorite shade, Mahogany. But I think you have to have the right skin tone to pull it off. That looks a bit orange. This is another example of, is it good or is it just because everybody else says it's good? Help me. Oh my God. You're gonna have to do this on the other side and just even it out a bit. And then I've got some new bronzer to try. And so help me God, I hope it helps. I hate this. Way too orange for me anyway. If any of you have used this before, please let me know. We are looking very Oompa Loompa-ish, and I hope we can come back from this. This is what happens when you shop online. You just don't know what you're gonna get. Okay. Oh, I'm so sick of all this plastic. Okay, we are looking super bronze, aren't we? So next up, we're going to do some cream blush. And this is from NYX. It's the Sweet Cheeks Soft Cheek Tint Blush Mousse. And I don't know what the applicator is like. Okay, so it's a doe foot applicator. Quite a strong color, isn't it? I'm obviously into risk taking today, so I'm gonna put a couple of dots of this onto my cheeks. Whoops. I might just put some on my nose because I think we all know by now how much I like doing that. Okay, I'm going to first start with my PC21 and see how this blends in. I don't know. It does blend easily. I just don't know if the shade is right for me. My nose looks way too sun-kissed, eh? Let's turn that down. This is so off. Oh my God, give me my sponge. Little pro tip, if you ever put too much product of something, just go in with your sponge. It'll make everything better. So next up, we're going to set the face. We're going to use the Australis Fresh and Flawless powder. This is another cult favorite, I suppose. It's the shade Medium Tan, and ooh, it's full of powder everywhere. So I'm going in with my Real Techniques little eye setting brush. I'm just going to lightly tap this in place just to set the concealer with the smallest amount of product. Concealer's already creased on me, so I'm just blending it away before I put in the powder. And just grabbing a bigger powder brush. This is my PC24 brush from Peaches, and I'm just powdering the rest of my face. I'm just going to avoid the areas where we put the cream products because I want to set those with cream blush and cream bronzer. This powder's okay. It's got a bit of a scent to it. It's quite a light application and I'm quite happy with the finish of it, to be honest. Not bad. The one thing that about drugstore products that annoys me a bit is the amount of plastic and tape on them. So we're going to move on to set the bronzer. I've got two products here that I thought I would try. So the first is the L'Oreal Back to Bronze bronzer. This is another cult favorite online. I've watched Koshal, my favorite YouTuber, use this for the longest time. And then as I was shopping around on Priceline, I found the Revolution bronzer Reloaded. This is in the shade Holiday Romance. And I thought it's got a little bit of glow to it. So I thought it might be an interesting one to try. So we'll go in with Back to Bronze first. I think it's quite a buildable product. It's not going on too strong, which I quite like, to be honest with you, because sometimes a lot of bronzers can be really, really harsh. And we'll go a bit under the chin as well. Okay, I'm gonna dip into the Revolution bronzer now and see if that adds any sort of shimmer. I think it is actually. I've got that many products on my face right now that I think I'm a bit confused. I think it's both bronzers I think I'm quite happy with. I can't really tell, to be honest. I think they're really, really light to apply, but they haven't gone patchy or anything like that, so I'm pretty happy. Next product is blush. We're going to go in with L'Oreal Blush of Paradise. This is the shade Melon Dollar Baby, and I absolutely love this shade. How many times do I say I absolutely love this shade in my videos? I've been having a laugh about that with my sister-in-law, that every time I say absolutely, you can take a shot for me. Without further ado, let's dip into it and see how we go. Yep, I do like it. Looks a lot stronger on camera than it does in real life, to be fair. But that's a pretty shade. I do really like it. I like it. Now we're going to pause things because I'm noticing that I'm getting creasing under my eyes, so I don't know how well you can see on my camera. There is a bit of creasing. This is why I'm so fussy with concealer. As I keep banging on about, the Anastasia Magic Touch Concealer doesn't do this to me, and that's why I love it so much. So moving on swiftly, we're going to move on to highlight. So this is the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter, and it's in the shade Rose Gold Molten, and it's quite a pretty shade. I'm going to use a highlighter brush. I'm using the Peaches PC28 brush. Just gonna dip into the product and see how we go. It's quite intense. This is probably more intense than I would like in a highlight. I'm finding that it's accentuating texture that I almost didn't even know existed. Can you see that? Don't like it. I don't know about that one. Okay, so next product we're going in with is for brows. So we're using the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Brow Pencil, and I'm using the shade, I don't know, medium brown. That is what it looks like. And there is a spoolie on the other end. That's very thick and it terrifies me, but we're gonna see how we go. As a backup, I do have another pencil, but we'll see if it's needed. So we're just gonna go in and brush the brows upwards. You might be surprised, you don't know. Give it a chance. I just knocked it with my finger. Oh my God, I feel like this video is cursed. We're gonna sharpen before we even begin, aren't we? Oh my God. Oh God, it does not sharpen easy. That should not be happening. I'm not gonna use it. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna use it. I do have a backup. So we're gonna be okay. We're gonna be okay. This is from P. Louise and it's their brow pencil. It's the shade Chocoholic. And if I can just show you a comparison between the nib. Can you see how tiny that nib is? And how possible it is to make really fine hairline strokes as opposed to that. I just can't. Just brushing up. Just gonna try and keep it light as possible if I can. I do love the P. Louise for two reasons. I love the shade and I love how fine that nib is. So especially if you've got really sparse eyebrows, it makes it really, really easy to make hairline strokes and make it look as natural as possible. Okay, brows are on. We're looking a lot more bold than what I had intended, but that's all right. We're gonna go in with P. Louise Base Pro in the shade Rimmer 02. I don't think I've done one video on my YouTube channel without this product. So that just goes to show how much I love it. So using my PC23 brush, I'm just going to swipe this across all my eyelid space. Okay, base is done. The next product as well is something that I'm already familiar with, and it's by Colourpop. It's the That's Taupe palette. I love this palette so much. How much does that scream bridal to you? So we're going to go in with the shade Bedrock right here in the outer corner, and we're going to apply this over the whole eyelid space. I'm actually using one of my favorite brushes, which is the MAC 217S brush, and just going to apply this all over the lid space. However, we are going to avoid that inner corner there. Next, we're going in with our PC38 brush from Peaches, and I'm just going to use this to tickle along the edges of that really dark brown shade, just to haze it out so that when we put the next shade on, both shades are going to blend in beautifully with each other. Dipping back into the palette, we're going to use the shade Python over here. Use a beautiful cool tone, light sort of brown shade. And I'm using my PC22 brush, and we're basically going to add more shade into the inner corner of the eye. What we're going to do next is continue with that Python shade, and we're just going to shade around the edges of the original Bedrock shade, just to sort of help haze it out a bit. So just to warm the look up a little bit, we're going to go back in with Back to Bronze from L'Oreal. I'm using my PC10 larger fluffy blending brush. We're just going to dip into that, and we're going to apply this right along the edge of our last shade Python, just so that we can warm it up a little bit and it sort of transitions out into a beautiful bronzy warm shade. What we're going to do now is re-intensify all three shades, going from lightest back to darkest. Now we're going to repeat all three shades underneath, just so we can create a nice balanced smoky eye from underneath as well. So first we go in with Bedrock, the darkest chocolate brown shade, and running that along the outer corners of our lower lash line. Then moving on to Python, our sort of mid-brown taupey shade. And then finishing off with Back to Bronze, our L'Oreal bronzer, just to sort of warm up the outer edges of everything. Okay, so eyeshadow is complete. We're just going to do a little bit of a smudgy, smoky liner. So I'm going to go in with my Morphe eye pencil. This is in the shade Richie, which is a really lovely dark chocolate brown shade. So we're just going to run it along the upper lash line, and it doesn't really matter how you apply it, even if it's quite messy. We're going to go back in with a smudger brush and just smudge that away. Okay, so we're going to move on to mascara. I normally use the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara in terms of a drugstore, more affordable brand. Never go wrong with it. It really applies beautifully, but there is one that I've heard about being really, really good, and it's the Maybelline Volume Lashes Mascara, extra black. So we're gonna give this one a red hot go, aren't we? We're just gonna start by coating our lashes. I think I already love it. Look at the difference between my two eyes. Wow, I'm in love with this mascara. I'm in love with this mascara. I'm in love with the mascara. Yep, this is what we've come to, guys. So this mascara is giving me length, it's giving me volume and separation, and it's not clogging my lashes up whatsoever in that whole process. That is what I call a win. I almost decided against putting lashes on just because I love the mascara so much, but I'm just gonna amp the look up a little bit more. I'm gonna put some lashes on. I'll be right back in 2 seconds. Okay, we're back. Lashes are on. I've used the style number 223 from Model Rock. Model Rock is another awesome brand for affordable lashes. I use them all the time, especially in my kit. So the next thing we're going to do now is move on to lips. That's the final thing for this whole look. I'm going to go in with something that is familiar to you guys because I use them all the time, and that's my Morphe lip pencil. This is the shade Love Bite. Okay, we're going to go in with some lipstick now, and this is from Maybelline. It's the shade Bare Reveal number 177, and it's a cream lipstick. I'll just show you the shade here. That's such a beautiful shade. It reminds me a little bit of Honey Love from MAC. So let's see how this applies. Okay, it's gliding on very, very easily. Honestly, you can never go wrong with a Maybelline lipstick. I've never been disappointed at all anytime I've purchased one. And I love this shade so much. This is gonna be in my handbag 100%, for the day that we finally eventually go out. So that's all for today's video. I really, really hope you enjoyed this full face of affordable makeup. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and a comment in the comment section below. And if you would consider subscribing to my channel, I would be ever so grateful. I'll catch you for the next one. Bye.